This backpack right here has everything you need to make photo, video content. We're talking travel content, narrative, interviews, pretty much anything. And if you guys want to jump around and see what's inside, we got the timestamps right here, but let's dive in. This is an in-case DSLR Pro backpack, crazy amounts of storage. It runs you about 200 bucks, but you don't need to spend that much. There are a lot of cheaper options and there are a lot of more expensive options. What we got going on for the camera setup, we got an A7 IV. We can shoot 4K 60 with it. You don't need to spend this much money on a camera. I really worked my way up there. To be honest, I started with this A6500 right here and I've made some good money with it. I've made some fun content with it. So at the end of the day, you got to get a camera that has the specs that you want and it's affordable for you. But I would say try to stretch your budget a little bit because you want this stuff to last a long time. We got a 24-70 G Master, huge focal length, lots of focal options. Honestly, I kind of say it's like having 3 lenses in one, and it's super sharp. Now you don't need to spend this much on a lens. You got tons of budget options like Sigma, Tamron, and they still have a large focal length like 28-75. What good is a lens without an ND filter? Right here, it's basically sunglasses for your lens. It's cutting light, and what you can see is when you twist it, it gets a bit darker, and then you twist it the other way, it gets a bit brighter. What that does is it lets you stop down to something like f2.8 on our G Master over here in broad daylight. And if you're wondering what that looks like, here's a video of the lens being used on the f2.8 in broad daylight outside without an ND filter, and here's a video with the ND filter. If you spend a good amount of money on your camera and your lens, you're going to want to be able to keep it clean and protected. First of all, we got to keep it dust free. So we got this cool pocket rocket here, and it comes in handy because if you ever get any amount of dust on your sensor, it's just annoying to deal with. If you're curious about what dust looks like on a sensor, here's a little example right here. You don't want it. We got this brush here just to dust off any little pieces of dust as well. And then finally, we got our trusty microfiber cloth right here. These things always come in handy. Never get caught on set or on the go without one. You don't want to use your shirt. That's a rookie move. Now, of course, you need media for your camera, and we got some crazy pouches to store that as well. I like to store my memory cards in something like this Pelican here. We got 4 SD cards. We got 1 smaller SD card for audio. We got 2 high-speed SD cards, and then we got just a random SD card in there. When you're buying your SD cards for your camera, you gotta check what speeds you need, so make sure to do that research beforehand because you might save some money, and you'll be happy because you won't have your camera stopping recording on a shoot. You wanna get a nice SD card case because SD cards can break. Some card cases even damage your cards when you put them into there, so make sure you do your research on them. I highly recommend this thing. You can practically run it over with a card.
Totally fine. It's a Pelican case.
We've got a couple extra batteries as well because how much would it suck for your camera to die while you're trying to shoot some cool content? We got a couple NPF batteries here. I would recommend going with name brand, but I think we even have some off-brand ones here just because we're trying to save some bucks. And your camera kit wouldn't be complete without a multi-tool. Now you're wondering, Max, why would I ever need like a pocket knife or all these crazy tools on here? Believe me, it comes in handy. Whether you're trying to unscrew a camera cage, screw on a tripod plate, just cut something randomly, you'd be surprised how often you'll use one of these. So definitely throw one in your bag. You can get one on the cheap or you can spend a little bit of cash on it. Now you need something to put your camera and lens on. We've got this Peak Design travel tripod right here. Basically this thing, it's super compact. It is very travel friendly. Look at how long these legs can stretch. I'll just show you an example right there. I mean, wow. Talking about tripods, we got another little cool tripod here. You've probably seen some of your favorite YouTubers using these things. This is called a GorillaPod. I lost the base plate for it, so I just kind of replaced it with a random archetype base plate, but you know, this thing helps you get some creative angles with your cameras. It can also serve as a light stand if you need it to. One more thing I never like to leave the house without is just a mini roll of gaff tape. I mean, this thing always comes in handy whether you're on a film set or you're shooting on the go. You never know when you're gonna need a roll of gaff. Having a mobile lighting kit can really elevate your game when it comes to your content, especially when you're on the go. We chose to go with this Amaran COB60X. The battery grip, you can slap some nice NPFs onto there and have an extra long battery life, not have to worry about plug-in power. The modifier we're rocking on that Amaran COB60 is this Lightbox 45x45, and this is what's gonna help us get that studio lighting on the go. 2 more things that I can't live without on the lighting side is an MC over here. This is an RGB WW pocket light. It's magnetic as well. I mean, look at all the crazy colors. It's color chasing right now. You can control this thing with Sidus Link. Now, I also have a headlamp here. This is kind of miscellaneous. I mean, depending on if you're gonna be out late or whatever, This thing just comes in handy if you don't want to have to pull out your phone as a flashlight. Nice and cheap. And one more thing, I'd recommend grabbing a 5-in-1 reflector. Maybe you could throw it in your car or anything like that. I mean, this is kind of a bonus, but these things always come in handy because you have a bounce inside here, you have diffusion inside here, you have negative fill as well. If you're curious about what a bounce or negative fill does, go check out our TikTok. We got a video right here, and drop us a follow. We've got some cool tutorials for creators like you. Now let's talk about audio. We got a really cool pairing here. We got the Deity D4 Duo shotgun mic. This thing picks up the front and the back, and you can even plug it into your phone if you plug in a 3.5 to lightning cable like this one. I like to pair this up with something like this VLAV here. You can plug this thing into your phone, put it on your subject. If your shotgun mic doesn't pick up your subject's audio, this thing will. If you have two sources of audio when you're recording, you'll always be safe. And honestly, I feel like the lav audio sounds higher quality. Now let's talk about the price of this kit. It is a little expensive, but you don't need to buy everything all at once. If there's anything I left out, let me know down in the comments. While you're there, make sure to hit that subscribe button because we have a lot of other cool videos coming out, including this one about a one-man band kit. It's basically all the gear you may need for any freelance project coming up, and it all fits into one car. So keep an eye out for that one, and we'll see you in the next one.